Hey yo, it's Brian here. Today, going to be talking about the Sunday divisional matchups. So the first one's going to be Jacksonville at Pittsburgh, and the next one for the NFC is going to be New Orleans at Minnesota. So let's get into these games right now, and I'm going to be talking about the Jacksonville Jaguars, Pittsburgh Steelers game. So Taylor did say the Jacksonville Jaguars, they had to play the wild card game against the Buffalo Bills and ended up eking out the win. 10-3, I think that's what the score was. Jacksonville's defense, as always, is really good. Jalen Ramsey, A.J. Abouye, great defensive backfield, great linebacking core, just overall great defense, especially the D-line with Calais Campbell. He is really changed this team from what they were a couple of years ago to now, and they're the top defense in the NFL. Offensively, got to be a little bit concerned. Blake Bortles, you know my stance on him. I'm not the biggest fan of his, but hopefully he can have a good game against Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is actually not a bad defense. Statistically, they were in the top 5 in yards allowed and top 10 in scoring allowed, so they're a really impressive team. Surprisingly, you would think for the past couple of years Pittsburgh would be a bad defense, but this year they kind of got it together, and I know what happened to Bryan Chung. Hopefully he can heal up from that terrible injury that he had a couple of weeks ago, and we'll see if he can play some more football, but I think we should all be concerned about his health and if he can just be doing normal things before he can play football again. That's just my little stance on that. And the Pittsburgh Steelers, they are coming off a bye week, so they didn't really play in the wild card. They did defeat the Cleveland Browns week 17. I guess that's their last game. Nothing to be proud of right there. Cleveland going 0-16. Yeah. Yada. All right, let's get into it. So predictions. Who am I going to go with? I would be going with the Pittsburgh Steelers to win this game. I know Jacksonville, I do give them a chance to win this game, especially on defense, but offensively, I just can't trust Blake Bortles at all. I know they had Leonard Fournette. I know they had some good receiver targets, but I just can't trust the quarterback. I don't think he's a really good quarterback at all. I think that's going to be their downfall for this game against the Pittsburgh Steelers. He kind of struggled a little bit against Buffalo, kind of, but Pittsburgh's a better team than Buffalo. I think he's not going to have a good day, in my opinion, against the Pittsburgh Steelers. And I know they met up early in the regular season, and Jacksonville absolutely destroyed them. Big Ben had like 5 interceptions. Ridiculous. Never seen that before, but I feel like it's not going to happen. It's just an anomaly. Jacksonville's not going to replicate that again like they did in the regular season, so I do not see that happening. I see Pittsburgh getting their revenge and moving on to the AFC Championship game. I like their offense. I kind of like their defense. I like their offense more for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Big Ben, Le'Veon Bell, Antonio Brown. Antonio Brown's kind of injured right now, but he should be playing this game. I think they're going to give him the A-OK to play this game, and I definitely would play him because they're going to need him big time against this very tough Jacksonville defense, especially the secondary. That's what I'm going to bank on. I'm just going to bank on both the offense and defense because I feel like defensively Jacksonville's better, but offensively Pittsburgh is better. It's kind of confusing how I'm wording this out right now because I think defensively for Pittsburgh they can stop Blake Bortles. I don't think that's going to be the toughest challenge right there. I think Pittsburgh offensively can stop this Jacksonville's defense, and we all know Jacksonville's defense, so that's what I'm going to be banking on. So if I had to pick a final score, I'll pick Pittsburgh 28, Jacksonville 24. I think it's going to be a really close game, but I think Pittsburgh in the end ekes out the win and gets their revenge from the regular season meeting that they had around week 5, I think, in 2017. There you go. There's my prediction for the AFC. Now time for the NFC side. The most compelling match, in my opinion, for this whole divisional matchup for this weekend, the New Orleans and Minnesota Vikings. This is going to be a very tough one to predict. This is actually the one I had to actually think the most to pick a winner. I'm just going to get into it. So the New Orleans Saints, they defeated the Carolina Panthers, I think 31-26. I think that was the final score. Don't quote me on that. Drew Brees, freaking amazing. Still looks good after age 38. The running backs, they actually got contained by the Carolina Panthers defense. They did a really good job on doing that. But the passing game, it was just amazing. You had Michael Thomas, really good. What else can you say? Right? But they almost choked at the end. They almost pulled a Kansas City Chief on me. I was about to be very disappointed they would have lost to the Carolina Panthers in the way that they were going to lose. But luckily, they eked out the win. They were able to hold off the Panthers, and I was really happy to see that. And the Minnesota Vikings are coming off a bye week, so nothing to say there. Let's get into it. So predictions for this game. Who would I pick? I'd probably pick the Minnesota Vikings to win this game. I think the Vikings are going to win this game just because, one, they're at home, and I think this is going to be something special because if they make it all the way to the Super Bowl, they would be the first team in NFL history to go all the way to the Super Bowl and play at home because this year it's going to be at US Bank Stadium, so that's going to be freaking amazing if that can happen, and I love to see the Minnesota Vikings win their first Super Bowl. I have no one else to root for, so I'll pick the Vikings to root for. And I think they have a really good story going on. I mean, Case Keenum coming from like nowhere, essentially. I mean, he's an okay quarterback, but this year he really showed himself and really showed up when he really needs to, and he's a quality starting quarterback in the NFL, and this season pretty much proves it. That defense for the Vikings, oh man, very stifling, very stiffy, I guess you can say. Everson Griffin, who else? Harrison Smith, Xavier Rhodes, all great players for the Minnesota Vikings defense. I think they could put some pressure on Drew Brees' great offense. They got to stop Alvin Kamara, Mark Ingram, like the Panthers did in the wild card game. If they can do that, that'd be great. And they can also contain their quarterback, which I think they can because they're a lot better than Carolina's defensive backs. I think they can do a really good job on that. And plus, New Orleans has had so much problems on the road. They don't really win a lot of road games. They're not really good on the road. That's probably why I'm favoring Minnesota to win this game, even though it's in the Dome Stadium. But I think it's going to be really loud over there at US Bank Stadium. So Minnesota Viking fans, if you're watching this, go loud, I guess, because I'm picking y'all to win this game and maybe go to the Super Bowl. We'll see what happens. But first, focus on this game. If I had to pick a final score for this game, I would pick Minnesota 26, New Orleans 23. I think it's going to be a really close game. It might be a high-scoring game, to be honest with you. I know both defenses are really good, but both offenses are really good as well. So that's a really good thing to see. This is like probably the most balanced matchup on paper that I'm seeing out of all these divisional matchups. And hopefully it doesn't disappoint. Hopefully it's a really good one, and I hope the Minnesota Vikings go out with the W. So yeah, that's going to be pretty much it, you guys. I have the Pittsburgh Steelers going to be facing the New England Patriots in the rematch of the regular season game in the AFC Championship game, and I have the Minnesota Vikings and Atlanta Falcons going to the NFC Championship game. This should be exciting. Hopefully they all go correctly. If not, then I am an idiot like I am in the wild card game. But anyways, please comment below what you guys think about these games. Who's going to win these matches? Do you agree? Do you disagree? All that cool stuff. And if you guys like this, please like, subscribe, do whatever you want with this. And I'll be catching you guys up later. I hope you guys have a nice day, nice weekend, nice whatever. And I'll see you guys later. Bye, guys. Love y'all.